Good evening, everyone. I am Vishnu Jagtap, and in front of all of you, I am presenting the Financial Times newspaper headline. So, first of all, Genska hails truth. Next, Bank of Japan policy rethink sends shockwaves across global market. Next, media group shared $500 billion in value has shares head for historic declines. Next, outspoken oligarch $1 billion hostel $1 billion hotel grabbed by court. Next, Wells Fargo told to pay $3.7 billion over illegal activity. Next, China normal in months. Next, scandal claims news clap. Next, car chip shortage alert. Next, Gates takes aim at Musk. Next, Amazon seals EU deal. Next, underwear overrated. Then next on page number 2, in that US warns of Russia China anti-NATO toolkit. Next, Putin admits conflict in Ukraine extremely complicated. Next, Deripaska complex seized after war criticism. Next, the Kremlin asked him to calm down. Next, pandemic hasten Eurozone consumers switch from cash. Next, energy watchdog casts doubt on untested EU gas price cap. Then next on page number 3 in that young Iranians turn ire on clerics and religious establishment. Next on page number 4 in that Beijing media hell ditching of zero COVID. Next, union chief resigns after cash payment in EU Qatar brief scandal. Next, January 6 panel depends Trump's legal woes. Next, scientists welcome UN nature deal but urge bolder action. Next, Amazon agrees measures to end European data probes. Then on page number 5 in that Wells Fargo to pay $3.7 billion for rinse repeat law breaking. Next, Fresh Foundation lenders to take ownership of indebted Revolon in bankruptcy settlement. Next, Gates won Musk rule of Twitter stare polarization. Next, Indian states court manufacturers seeking to shift from China. Next, on page number 6 in that car makers faced parts drought until end of 2023. Next, US extends blacklist to target China's potential cheap stars. Next, NG takes European 1 billion hit from nuclear bill and tax. Then on page number 7 in that tech startups race to find creative debt deals. Next, 3 million wolves to stop making forever chemicals. Then on page number 8 in that India overtakes China in M&A fees for first time. Next, BOJ's yields cap shift hands lucrative win to bond bears. Next, Hong Kong and Beijing agree to expand scope of Stock Connect trading scheme. Next, FTX seeks to recoup Bankman Fried's political donation to pay creditors. Then on page number 9, in that the day in the market, in that next investors must adapt to the new normal of higher inflation. Next, war without journalism unthinkable. Next on page number 12 in that a landmark in Australian art. Next, anti-capitalism is a profitable business. Next on page number 13 in that the great green office crunch. Next on page number 14 in that now is the time to boost financial literacy. Next, grief tech avatars aim to take the sting out of death. Next, healthcare must embrace Jenny therapy to catch up with science. Next, not much has changed in 50 years of the railways. Next, nurses were paid less than society looked after them. Next, what the lived experience director job says of NHS. Next, independent pay review boards are anything but. Next, steps Japan should take if it is to expand its military. Next, a generous offer of COVID drugs can reset China ties. Next, a Russian personal view on of the sanctions regime. Next, in Oslo, some migrants are better treated than others. Next, chart GPT limitations and why journalism will live on. Then on page number 15, in that West access of prudence risk Kremlin victory by default in Ukraine. Next, glimmers of light in a terrible year. Next, strikes are an inevitability, not an aberration. Aberration. Then on page number 16, in that BOG Kuruda addicted to aqua, Quake. Next, Regimental, the tracks of my tears. Next, Brentech, Univar, bulking large. Next, Musk Twitter vibe check. That much for today. Thanks for watching.